Hey guys, welcome to our exciting second episode of IT Talks. Today, we have with us an enigmatic personality. He's a veteran, having served in Indian Navy for more than 20 years. He has most of his tenure in aviation with vertical specialization in avionics and IT. He has over 14 years of IT experience, mostly in IT infrastructure, IT governance, and IT compliance. Post retirement, he has worked in a few startups and now currently he's working on digital transformation of organizations using ServiceNow. He has passion to work on IT security and blockchain. Without further ado, I give to you Kiran Kumar. Hey, hi Kiran. Good evening.
Hi Puneet, how are you? Good evening.
Hi, I'm good. I'm good. So good to see you. And so I would like to officially welcome you to our, this platform of IT Talks. And maybe start with
Thank you.
maybe start with your introduction for all our viewers.
Puneet, thank you for this opportunity at IT Talks. I think it's a wonderful platform to get introduced and understand, and talk about the learnings. I'm Kiran Kumar, veteran, served in Navy for 20 years. Presently, I'm a principal consultant at INRI. We do service now implementation for the organizations and we help in digital transformation and automation of workflows. I mean, that's the passion I have towards in terms of digital transformation, and I'm really liking what I'm doing right now.
Great. So, for our viewers, I just like to give them, a heads up. So me and Kiran, so we are batchmates. So we did our executive MBA course together from IIM Cozy Code. And it's so good to see him. Great, Kiran. So, pretty fascinating profile you have got, you have worked with Indian Navy for more than 20 years, and then actually transitioning back to, to corporate IT world. So would you like to describe your journey, how you did it?
Yeah, I mean, it was not so easy that I thought it would be an easy transition from Navy to IT, but it was entirely an 180 degrees out of phase, I would say. I when I was like 1997, when I got into Navy, many of my friends were got into their engineering, and then it was an IT boom. They got into IT, and I was seeing them. I was into Navy, and they were going to US and all this stuff. So I had a passion towards IT. Why can't I do? Why can't I get into? And my brother was into the IT. He went to US for masters, and he was a source of inspiration for me, which I would say, where what are the things I should need to do if at all I need to pick up IT as my second career. We started working on developing websites in 2006, and by the term 2007, I was having my own website. And it's the same time when you Bansals and the Paytm founders, they were just getting into the online, and the thought process that they might be having is a global. I was having a local thought process at that time. I mean, that's again depends upon who the mentors are, from the networking and all those stuff. So by 2009, I could have an e-commerce website which still runs and which still competes with
Wow,
Swiggy and Zomato.
nice.
I mean, so that's how the passion towards the IT had started. But when I thought seriously I need to get into IT, it was like the decision that I need to take whether I need to do masters in business administration or IT, and that's how I thought that I should get into an IT certification, and I done my masters. I would I would not say lucky, but I got gold medal there. It was
Wow.
a wonderful motivation for me to get a gold medal in masters, and then that really helped me to motivate myself to further do some studies, some languages, work on Linux systems and all those things. And by the end of my service, I was really convinced that this is the place where I need to go in. But as you expect, right? Transitioning is very difficult at like different companies, and 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 I know that the funniest part is that I got my first interview with Microsoft,
Wow.
and it was for a project management role, and both were talking about the same domain, but the expectations were different. He was talking in terms of IT, I was talking in terms of naval aviation project management. And by the end of the discussion, it happened such a way that I have the experience in the domain, but I don't have the exposure towards the IT corporate side. And that really needs know, an understanding of how to get into the IT exposure, and that's the time when I got into IIM to understand what is the process towards the corporate side, understand the IT at a 360-degree level. And even that was also very bumpy. I need to travel 8 kilometers.
Oh,
I need to travel 8 hours for 3 hours of class. Like, that was like 1 year of intensive traveling just for 3 hours, 12 hours of class. And finally, an opportunity through networking, I got it, through in an organization, the startup. But again, they were interested in blockchain, and I was also very interested towards blockchain at the time, working on some of the stuff. They were into Hyperledger Fabric, which is more of developing enterprise business applications, and they were doing the POCs. They want a person who wanted to lead that, and they felt me that I'm the right candidate, and that's how I got into the IT side. It was a very tough ride, but I got into a right place when I started my IT career. That's
nice.
what I would say.
So, just trying to understand. So, I really liked, I think it's the passion of for IT, that actually like kind of was a driving factor for you. And I perfectly align with it,
Yes.
So there are difficulties when one person, you're completely from a different background, he's transitioning into completely different career, and you mentioned like the course really helped, right? The skills that you necessarily sought out, and it really helped, right?
Yes.
Okay. So can you describe
So,
like what kind of role you are currently working now in your present organization? I guess you're working as a principal consultant, right?
yes. So, presently my organization works on ServiceNow implementation, and we are allied partners for ServiceNow. That means we are one of the prime partners for ServiceNow. And what we do is we implement only ServiceNow models to entire, clients. I am specialized in IT operations management, IT service management, and IT business management. So what me and my team particularly do is that we work on the client infrastructure to
Mhm.
discover the entire infrastructure, and then get those infrastructure into the common CMD, configuration management database. So it's not just on-prem infrastructure. We also work on the cloud infrastructure to get all the resources into the CMDB, so that at any point of time, the leadership team has a complete visibility of their infrastructure, so that they can work strategically to take the decisions, what's in their roadmap and how they wanted to achieve that roadmap in terms of infrastructure and applications. We also work with the various leadership teams in terms of tactical and operational advice, where they're able to perform the duties in terms of assessing the incidents, pinpointing where the incident was, in terms of getting those even one management monitoring tools connected to ServiceNow. So I mean, that's all. You are completely getting your infrastructure discovered, thereby giving the value to the customers in terms of getting the complete understanding of what they are right now and what they wanted to be there in the next 2 to 3 years. So that's what I do right now.
Nice. So sounds really interesting, in terms of, so my like personally, I have also worked on service now. So not really towards the developing the tool, but yeah, on the end user side, and I'm a big fan. So yes, really interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk more about that, how you really got into it later on, so
Yeah, sure.
let's come to our main, focus for our today's discussion, so when I initially talked to you, so you talked about unlearning, right? So it's such a
Yeah.
buzzword, I would say, so why would you want to like talk more about same, right? Learning to unlearn, right?
I mean, yes, yes, at every point of time, I mean, you learn every day. That's there, and the present mantra is learning never stops. Right? Everyone talks about that, but you can learn things, but you need to unlearn at some point of time in order to get get into some other position. Like I spent more than 20 years in naval aviation, and I need to unlearn a lot of things to get into IT side, right? uh, I started learning blockchain to get into my first job. I worked on different POCs, but if that doesn't convert into some value to the organization, then you need to unlearn it and you need to get to the next point of time. So unlearning is something that it is very required, and you cannot stick to that. I know this and I wanted to do this. I mean, you need to keep that aside. You need to work towards the organization goals, towards your self goals, and that really brings value. It brings impact to the organization, and people around you would appreciate that. Okay, he he's he knows this, but he can unlearn that and he can get to the next part of it. So that is a very important factor for me. Living my experience of aviation 20 years, living my experience of blockchain for 2 to 3 years, and then getting into a role where I'm working right now, and I might again unlearn this, get into some other things to because again your way of thinking would change. What you wanted to be in the next 3 to 4 years, if you think of that, then you might unlearn something and you need to get into some other stuff. But at the end of all the things, you know a lot of things and you can map everything so that you are a complete package where people can talk and you can give the value whatever you are working on.
Definitely, definitely. I think that will be the takeaway for me from this session, right? Really, to how to really, get into an habit of unlearning, right? That's so
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Also, you mentioned about like you've worked extensively on blockchain, right? So, do you think like from a very high level perspective, should our viewers we might be interested, right? So, like learning blockchain, is it a good idea? There might be future applications in terms of, and what future applications do you see around same?
I started understanding the blockchain at 2013, 2014
Wow.
when my brother was into he bought some cryptocurrencies at
Uh,
that time, right? So it was a time I understood blockchain and all the distributed ledger, and I was very interested in understanding that. But it's not just cryptocurrency blockchain, right? So it is more than that. It's blockchain. Cryptocurrency is just a part of blockchain.
mhm.
And really, Hyperledger is one of the blockchain technology which really helped me to understand. It was an open source Linux Foundation system, right? And Hyperledger
Oh,
Fabric, which is developed by IBM, was built for the enterprise applications. And then you can make a permission blockchain. There are two types of blockchains again. I mean, if I say one is permissionless, where the cryptocurrencies anyone can buy, but again permission, a specific group of consortium can come together and say that we will establish a blockchain where we have some distributed ledger which is recorded, and we have some policy based things that could be help in terms of transactions. So that really interested me, and that helped me to get into the POCs of Hyperledger Fabric. I worked on Hyperledger Fabric extensively, and then by the time I was working, it was most of the things are POCs. Like you got the POCs, but nothing is going to the production level. And the Gartner, like it is
uh-huh.
it is a it is the initial interest phase where everyone would like to do those POCs,
Right.
and then at some point of time you come to that disillusionment, and then you need to wait till the time of that enlightenment process. So it would take some time, but certainly blockchain is a technology that's going to stay for future, and a lot of applications would be dependent on it. And if you understand the blockchain, that's a good step. But spending more time, I mean, that depends upon if there are organizations completely into blockchain, that's fine. But if you want to learn, you need to learn the technology, keep that aside, learn other technologies. When that comes in, you can map it and you can work. Uh, there are a lot of blockchain as services right now in the cloud providers. Like IBM provides a blockchain service, Azure provides blockchain service. So you can work on it, you can understand all these things, and at some point of time, the applications would come, and then you can be part of that, the productivity.
Nice. That's so interesting. I think our viewers will definitely have a takeaway from there. Also, I
Yeah.
can see, so I was the most intriguing thing I would saw in a profile was that, the plethora of certification that actually you have done, so I could see certification from the field of project management, from agile, blockchain, cloud, and, so lots of stuff. So can you, really throw light on what is the real value of this certification? Did they really help you in like, while you were transitioning in your role? And maybe, if you can recommend one certification that you liked the most from each domain that you did.
So my primary goal for doing the project management PMP certification was getting into the project management role into IT, and of course that helped me, but not immediately. But it took some time. I need to understand the IT processes initially, and once I got that exposure, it was very good. So that helped me a lot. And the other things are, again, you need to map it. Like if I'm working on IT operations management, and ServiceNow, it's an application platform as a service, right? So when I'm working on a cloud management tool, and if I'm working on something like IT operations management, where I need to discover the resources in cloud, then I need to understand the cloud technology as well. That's how I need to learn Azure, AWS, Oracle Cloud, and all those things, get those certifications, so that when I interact with my clients, I have the complete understanding of what they want and how can I bring those resources back in. So that's the value I should be able to get in. And if I'm a consultant, what I'm doing right now, and if I just know only service now, then I'm not providing the right value. As a consultant, I should be able to guide them the best possible way. So in that case, I need to understand their technology.
Right.
And if I'm working on IT operations management, again, all the infrastructures are not similar. An organization would have an entirely different infrastructure, and another organization would be having a different infrastructure. So in order to learn these things, I need to learn different other certification, and that's the reason why I need to work on this. It is entirely my interest, but when I do it, I really understand the whole concept. It will really help me, give that confidence to the clients, so that you are able to get the right value out of the project. Some of the certifications I would recommend is PMP for sure. Those who want to do the project management. I would also recommend if anyone is into ServiceNow domain and was looking into IT operations management, they need to understand service mapping, discovery, event management certification. Cloud, any cloud technology, you should understand the infrastructure. I mean the architecture. I would say
Right.
architecture, so that all the cloud infrastructure is same. Like if you understand the architecture, it would be at least one cloud provider, maybe Azure, AWS, or Google.
Mm-hmm. Right. I think, thank you so much actually for, giving us so much insight, into this. So personally, like, so if you say, I'm also a fan of AWS. So because I primarily got some opportunity to work on the same in like my previous organization. So I didn't do the certification of solutions architect, but yeah, definitely I have the hands-on. I'm, looking forward to doing the same. And yeah, definitely PMP is also there on my list, definitely. Maybe I'll try to do it by the end of the year. Great. So which brings, yeah.
Oh, sorry. So I just wanted to say, when technology is changing a lot, I mean, it, right? When we are doing our courses, even then, every 18 months you see a change of technology, right? And
Right.
it's even faster now, more than you expect. With all this pandemic, everyone wants to move to cloud. How do you manage? What is your business continuity? How can you manage that on-premises infrastructure? There's a lot of things. I mean, it's not that I know a single programming language and I would work on it. They want is, complete stack. So people need to upskill. People need to upgrade themselves. They need to learn. They need to unlearn it at the same time. And I mean, that's the way forward. Or else, you're gonna stay where you are, and sometimes it might be shock also.
Definitely, plus
It will be
one to
shocking,
that.
yeah.
Definitely, yeah, these are such, changing times, and if you don't keep yourself updated, then obviously you'll fall behind from the rest of the folks. Okay, which brings me to my last question for our talk today. So that is, and the most interesting one. So what's your favorite book? So you feel to, name more than one. So.
So, frankly saying, I just read more into technology. And books. I like a book called Technology Ventures, which we studied right in IMK.
Okay.
That's an awesome book, and I keep reading that book, and that's a very interesting book. I mean, if at all someone did not read it, I like to watch TEDx most of the time,
Yeah.
And also what you call Shark Tank.
Uh-huh.
So these are the things, yeah. So these are the things really interest me, and that keeps me motivated and to take up new things that I wanted to do. So books only on technology, I would say.
Definitely. So I'm also a big fan of TEDx, and I heard that like even the Shark Tanks, like a version is coming to India as well, right? So I'm also looking forward to that. Maybe when it comes. Great,
Yeah.
great, Kiran. So I think we had a very nice session today. And anything you like to say to our viewers? Any tips to the person who might be moving, they want to move into consultant, being a domain. Any tips or any learnings that you want to give from your end? Yeah.
So I mean, for a fresher, it's not just that you got a job. You need to upskill. That's any way that they need to do it. If you want to be a consultant, it's more of learning the technology as well as how you're good with the communications and how you're talking to the clients. How you
Correct.
get them convinced with your solution so that you're bringing the value to the table and they're convinced with that and they're able to use it. So that's all. I mean, you need to be very clear on your thought process, in your communication, in your technical skills, and that's how you'll be a very good consultant, I would say.
Awesome, Karan. Awesome. So thank you so much for actually connecting with us today. And so I know the pandemic is going on. I would have, so for our viewers, so Kiran is based out in Hyderabad. So I would have loved to, come down and maybe have a conversation in person with you in future. Definitely.
Sure. I think we'll be having more than this, and we'll be connecting at some point of time.
Definitely.
Really wish you best of luck on it. And it's a wonderful opportunity for me to talk about my experience. And thank you for the thought of creating a platform where you can discuss this thing. Really, it's a
Definitely,
great thing.
definitely, so I want to facilitate such kind of, communications which are helpful for everyone. Thank you once again, Kiran, for connecting with us today. Okay, take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi everyone, thank you for watching our video. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such insightful sessions. We will be regularly uploading on our channel every Sunday, so stay tuned and like our other social media handles as well. The links of the same will be mentioned in the description box below. Bye bye.